Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Those of you who are new, my name is Evan, also known as the Storm Taco on Instagram. And in today's episode, might actually end up splitting it up into, like 3 different episodes. I'm not quite sure, because we got some stuff today. So we've got a rear tent here. So basically, I just went and ordered one of these on Amazon. Going to Moab here at the end of this weekend, and wanted to make sure I had something to camp in because I don't want to be sleeping in my driver's seat again. So we're going to test that out, see how well that works, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts on that. But I wanted to give it like a little demonstration, I guess, on how it would get set up and different modifications that I'm probably going to make to the bed itself to make it more accommodating. And the other thing we're also going to be doing is, I guess when I sound deaden the doors, I didn't quite do it right the first time when I did it like 4 years ago. So I'm going to be redoing that today on all 4 doors. And I have to take them off anyways because my front speakers with Rockford Fosgate, they have shorted out. So they need me to get the serial number on them so they can send me replacements. So just going to knock all of that out there. And as some of you know, with the driver's side AlphaRex headlight, it hyper flashes like crazy. No idea why, because passenger side doesn't. There's resistors all over these things, and I even put in what's it called, the resistor plug. So I unplugged the flasher relay and then put in a bypass, and that completely turned off the front signals altogether. So yeah, what we're going to work on with that today is this piece right here. I'm just going to replace the whole flasher relay module itself. And this is the OEM Toyota Denso part right here. So we're just going to go ahead and throw that in there. See if maybe that fixes the issue. If it doesn't, then honestly, so be it. I just won't use my left blinker anymore because I hate that it hyper flashes. So yeah, we'll go with that for this. And then I have the rear Corbeau bench. Actually, it's going to be ready in about 2 weeks. When I ordered it, they said it was they'd have to like custom make it because they didn't have any available. They said it was going to be like 4 weeks or 3 to 4 weeks, and that was about a week ago when I bought that. So in order to get ready for that, I am actually just going to take out the 2 front seats here. Well, I guess not really take them out, just move them back because I need to clean up the whole front end underneath the floor mats. So yeah, we're going to do a deep clean in there. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to be like a 3-part or a 4-part video. I might just do that just so that way it's more specific to what you guys are looking to install here. So yeah, I think what I'm going to start off first though is with this flasher module. So what I'm going to do is, as always, if you're going to be working on fuses or anything like that, you want to pop the hood, unplug the battery, and go from there. So I'll jump in on that. And oh, I guess I did want to give you guys an update. Found out what was wrong with the truck because it died yet again. So in the last video, I told you guys it was the wolf box that was going on, which definitely was the case. I guess I had replaced the crank position sensor previously, like 3 months ago, and yeah, I guess that went bad and I didn't know it. So we're going to be redoing that, or I took it to the shop and they redid that, and I have to take that part back that I got from AutoZone back to them and return it because it failed in 3 months. So yeah, shouldn't have happened there. I did also grab a new mirror dash camera from I think it was from AliExpress or something like that, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks the exact same as a wolf box. So like $300-400 for a wolf box, $36 for that one. And I just have that thing plugged right into just power when the truck's running, so it's not going to be killing my battery anymore. So I don't know. If you want a brand that's been domesticated in Utah but still comes from China that they're just upselling, You can do that route, or you can just go get one straight from China itself, I guess. So it's cheap, it works, I like it. So yeah. But as that goes, I guess we'll just jump right into this and we'll get these installs on the run. Catch you guys in a minute. Oh my. Alright guys, so this is kind of what I'm talking about here, is this all just needs to be deep cleaned. But what we're going to start off with first is I'm going to take off this floor panel here, and honestly it's just held in by a couple clips, so that's really all you got to do. I did also just yoink that out of there. It honestly, you just open it down and pull it out and it just comes out. It's really easy, I guess. And we'll also be taking this tray holder out, so we're just going to give it a yank, and then it's out. Same with this. We just got a little nut back there that just unscrews off. Let's get it off of there. Alright, now that's off. And then, voila. And I'm just going to move that. Just going to put it over there. Yeah, so as you can see, it's messy. I think what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to drop a bead of like silicone, I think, just along the edge here. So like if my shoes are wet, it's not puddling up and then running down here and going underneath. I want to try and get it to stop right there, I guess. But what we're about to replace for the relay is this black box right there. Right back there. So what we're going to do is 10mm bolt there, 10mm bolt there, pop this out, and then there's some brackets here on the side. We want to undo those. If you're just replacing the relay itself, I think you only have to take off the side ones here. But since I replaced the one on the back of this, I'm going to need to take this whole thing off. But you might have to either way. I don't remember. But it's honestly pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take that part off, and then just pop this out real quick. And honestly, don't worry about breaking any clips or anything on this. It's pretty sturdy. So when you undo those two bolts, you really do just get your hand on here and you just give it a tug and it'll come out. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll start doing that. And I will be right back. Alright, so I went ahead and I pulled off that part right there, and then I did just unplug the switches that go on the side. So, yep, went on ahead and did that. That honestly took like 2 minutes, if that. Yeah, like I said, there's just a 10mm bolt and a 10mm bolt over there, and then you just pull it out. So, like I said, give it a tug, pops right off. And then now all we have to do is, there is the nut right there, that's a 10, and then brackets one there, that's a 10, and then a couple just right there that are also 10s. So just make sure you keep track of your bolts. You don't want to lose any of these. When you take this out, it's possible you may not be able to reach the back of this with some of these plugged in, and there's no way to get these mixed up. If you have to unplug them to plug them back in, they'll only fit in the spot that they're designated to. So if you need to unplug these, go for it. I think I did the last time too, so I might have to partway through here. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead, undo some of these, and then we're going to pull out the back. I'm going to take out that resistor that I got so I can send it back, and then we'll put in the new one. And yeah, I will be right back, and I'll show you guys how to go from there. Alright guys, so it's been another couple minutes here. So I did just go ahead and just unplug those just with a flathead screwdriver, just to put some pressure on it and pry them out. And then I did also just take off this 10mm bolt right here that goes on, that holds part of the steering column in place right there. Yeah, so I just did that, unscrewed the two bolts that hold the flasher relay in place, and then unplugged it out the back. And this is the old one here that we've got. So we're going to find out if this was really the issue there. So yep, I'm going to give that a shot. So that's the old one, and here is the new one. So yeah, we're going to see how well that works. I'm going to plug it in there, plug all this back up. I don't think I'll put it all back together quite yet, but we'll see. So, I'm just thinking for a second. And maybe we'll just put it all back together, because if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. Or like doesn't work, doesn't work. So yeah, I'm gonna throw that in there. We'll see how well that goes. But so far, so good. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward process. It's just a lot of areas you gotta reach, but pretty quick. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in there and start putting things back together, and I will be right back to you guys. Okay, I did also want to note, just before I start putting everything back together here, this right here is the part that I had as the flasher part. So basically, it gets unplugged, like the stock one gets unplugged in its spot right there. If I can get a focus on the back there. But that's where I unplugged the stock flasher to put this in, and this didn't work at all. So looking into it further, it seems like this only works with the non-TRD models, which I don't understand why. So yeah, just gonna go ahead, return this, and get the other one plugged back in. So yeah, but if you do not have a TRD model, this will work for you just fine. And it just goes like right back in there. Yeah, so that's just something to keep in mind. This part was like only like $10 on Amazon. I know Diode sells one that's like the exact same for like $20 or something, but I honestly kind of wish I'd gone with the Diode ones, just because I feel like that's more reputable. So that's just something to keep in mind there. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, get that part plugged back in right there, and then plug in the rest right there. So yep, I'm gonna do that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I've got everything put back together there, everything bolted back down, everything plugged back in. I think I am actually just going to leave this section out for right now, since I am going to be pulling back the vinyl flooring just to clean it a little bit, and I think leaving this trim piece out for the moment is just going to make it much easier to reach everything back there. So essentially all you have to do now is just plug your ports back in, clip it on, put the 2 bolts back, excuse me, and then reconnect your battery, and you're chilling, and that should fix your issue. Depending on the application that you're doing, if you have one of the non-TRD models, putting in that flasher relay back there, this one here should solve your hyper flashing issue if you have LED headlights. Other than that, replacing one of those, pretty straightforward in there. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get working on the rest of this stuff here, like taking off this door and probably ripping off all this carbon fiber, because I hate it. I already ripped off that piece and it took the paint with it, so I'm gonna have to repaint the doors and everything eventually. So just creating more projects to be done. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start working on that. But as for that, that should be a wrap on how to work on your flasher relay there for both applications. And if you guys have any questions about that, please let me know. Other than that, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Catch you in the next one. See ya.